Hey, what is up, guys? We're back. We're back once again. Back once again with the Renegade Master. Boop, 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 boop. Right. We done January last month, and there's a lot of films in, so I was waffling on for a very long time. We're in February now. I didn't watch as many films. In fact, I guess I'll do F1 as well. I watched that yesterday, 2 days ago now. So I basically spent this month just watching all the Oscar nominees because I thought that'd be quite an interesting thing to do. And then Snow White at the top for some reason, but I guess I actually made notes this time, so I sort of know I'm less waffly. I'm always waffly, so you can't stop that. But I'm actually gonna make a full video just about all the Oscar nominees and ranking them or something or other in that vein, but I ain't there yet. So, and I guess we'll just start with I didn't get the IMDb pages up this time. I'm very underprepared, but I'm sort of winging it at this point. But yeah, we're here with Begonia, Gabagubia. Yeah, this feels pretty good. I like Begonia. It wasn't my favourite. I was a bit underwhelmed, to be honest. I like Yorgos Lanthimos' other films quite a lot. I think Poor Things is probably the best film of 2023. Maybe it's up there, definitely. It's probably my favourite film of his. The favourite's probably, it's got to be one of the best films of 2018 as well. Let me have a look. I guess Spider-Verse as well. But yeah, off the top of my head, the favourite's probably the best film of that year. So I'm a big fan of his work. He makes some bangers. Green Book's probably the best film ever made. The Darkest Minds. I've watched some bullshit, man. The Festival, Hurricane Heist, whatever, man. Yeah, Begonia. It's fucking Begonia, man. I thought it was. I was conflicted on it, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But yeah, I think Emma Stone, as usual, is just really fucking a good actor. She's probably one of the best actors working, or actresses working at the moment, which is surprising because a few years ago, you wouldn't have expected. I guess La La Land's 2016. Like, in my head, she was always like the sort of like Superbad, you know, like Easy A sort of teenage high school movie star, whatever, that kind of thing. But no, she's genuinely like probably one of the best actresses working right now. And I think Yorgos Lanthimos really manages to bring that out of it in all the films she's been a part of, to be fair. Similar to how Olivia Colman in The Favourite. I always like Olivia Colman. She's in Peep Show. She's one of my favourite British actresses. But like, you see in this performance, and I forgot Emma Stone was in it. You see a performance in this, and it's like, wow. I think she won an Oscar. I don't know if it was for that, but she definitely won an Oscar. So yeah, respect Lanthimos for bringing the best out in people. But yeah, overall, I was sort of conflicted about the way this film. Oh, maybe just what this film was talking about, and you know the themes it was started going with, and I'm not sure if it was trying to state a certain message or just trying to be, you know, a bit crazy, and maybe not edgy is not the right word, but like sort of, you know, difference and boundary pushing and things like that. But I think of his films, it's probably in my mind like the least ambitious. It felt like I haven't watched Kind of Kindness yet, but you know, all these other films, even though I probably don't love Killing of a Sacred Deer as much as the other ones either, I think this probably stands out as his weakest, to be honest, even though the filmmaking from a technical perspective is very well done, and I can appreciate that. But I just guess I didn't connect too much with the story and what it was trying to. I think he could better execute these themes he was sort of going for, you know, and the narratives of like sort of being brainwashed over the internet and things like that, and conspiracy theories and fucking Alex Jones type shit, you know. And then I won't spoil the ending, but I enjoyed the ending a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not really sure the message he was trying to go with that, but you know what, I can appreciate it, just, you know, from a perspective of just fucking insanity, and makes, you know, a good cinematic experience, and that's what matters at the end of the day. But yeah, some of the messages I wasn't too keen on. There's a lot of imagery of sort of, you know, this thing you sort of see a lot of, you know, humans like the plague on the planet, they're destroying the planet and things like that. And you know, I feel like that's kind of overdone at this point. You know, like the B movie done that. Like, you know, it's not a very interesting theme at this point, and I feel it's just very, I don't know, it's very played out, and it's very sort of pessimistic and doomer. And you know, I'm not all about all that doomer shit. So yeah. I mean, in the greatest standards of films, I give it a 6 out of 10. In the greatest standard of films, it's probably higher than that, but just comparing it to other excellent films I've watched, it didn't feel as groundbreaking or unique as what I would expect from Yorgos at this point in his career. I will say, so maybe it was less effective because I did already know the main twist in the film, which is why I'm not mentioning it here, because I don't think it should be spoiled, because I think it's a more exciting film if you don't know the spoiler. But you could sort of see that happening, I would say. But yeah, I'm not gonna get into too much. All the 3 leads are actually really good. I guess this dude, and there's like one like super I guess he was. I think he's like how do I feel like I'm gonna. It sounds bad if I but he's like an autistic person in real life, or like Asperger's or something. I'm not really sure. I'm not a mental health physician doctor dude, so I don't want to say the wrong things. But I guess if you can use this dude was really good actually. He sort of brought a weird tension to the film a lot, and I appreciated his character, and I think he did a good job. Maybe just being himself. I don't really know how that works, but Jesse Plemons as well. He's pretty good in anything he bees in. He is himself in. I've watched. Well, he's been in a lot of films. I didn't realise he was in Paul. He was in Paul. Damn, I didn't know he was in Paul. Although I don't really like his character in Breaking Bad. That's a controversial take. I think it's a weaker villain than previous seasons. But we won't get into Breaking Bad too much. Again, drop us a cheeky box follow if you don't mind. Links in description. I've spoiled the Oscar ranking. Ignore that. Okay, 26 ranked. I can't be asked doing each month. I'll just do the whole year ranked. Fuck it. I mean, that's sort of where I'm sitting on the film. I'm sort of speeding through. I don't want to get too much into too much detail. I'm gonna make a full video on the Oscars, which I've already got some audio for, but I just need to rewatch Sinners and then I can put that all together. But yeah, honestly, it's probably a high 6, low 7 sort of area. So I'll just put it here. I'm quite happy with it there. But yeah, I can appreciate it. I thought it was a well-made film. I thought it was funny. It was a sort of tragic comedy, especially like towards the end. It was, it's deeply like unsettling, depressing imagery, but it's sad. But it sort of makes you laugh because it's I guess that's just Yorgos' style. Like on some Lanthimos, and that's a strange word, but yeah, I was sad, but I was laughing at it, and that's a weird emotion to sort of foster in someone. So I think it is interesting in that sense. It's Yorgos does what Yorgos does well. Does that make sense? I don't know if I said makes sense. But yeah, he's pretty alright at doing that sort of thing. But just in terms of his history, it didn't blow me away or anything. But I thought it was okay, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm waffling too much again, but we'll move on to Train Dreams. I liked it a lot when I watched it. I give it a 7. It has sort of soured in my mind a bit since. Not for any particular reason. It just hasn't really stuck with me too much. I did like the film's sort of atmosphere and its take on human relations and connection and our connection with the world and nature and stuff like that, and sort of the cyclical existence of the human experience. I think that's really cool and an interesting theme to sort of unpick. Some similar themes to Begonia, to be fair, but it does really feel quite bittersweet, but it's never like completely cynical. Obviously bad things happen, but there's an undercurrent of hope which sort of goes through the whole film, which other films don't have. I guess they still have it, yeah. But it does feel hopeful. It's a story of sort of struggling to change with the times, and everything's getting more complicated, and you don't not sort of fit in the world that you grew up in anymore. The world's changed, and you haven't sort of evolved with it. And I think that's an interesting concept. It's very Red Dead in my mind. It's a similar setting. It's sort of Death of the West. I feel like it's more like northern North America. I don't know. Maybe my geography is not great, but it's less western and more like trees, and like it's about a wood chopper. Is that a lumberjack? Something like that. I don't know. A grafter, a proper grafter. But yeah, it's very Red Dead, and the way it deals with sort of changes in the world and the sort of evolution towards the old world to the new world, and from horse and carriages to cars. There's a chainsaw at the end of the film, and he's been using an axe film, and it's like, oh, this isn't my world I live in anymore. I'm not a chainsaw, I'm a chopper. And it's like, yeah, you are a chopper, but it is heartfelt at the end of the day, and it comes from a good place. I feel like it can be very emotionally striking at points, and although it's very, I don't know, it feels like it's trying to come off as very warm and close, and I don't know, like intimate, but it sort of drifts off into its own like dreamscape and becomes a bit like distant and disconnected and a bit cold at points, which is a weird sort of balance it has, but it sort of works and it sort of doesn't, and I'm a bit mixed on it, but I can appreciate the simplicity at least, even though I was trying to go for this like sort of grand dreamscape. It's very grounded in the same way, which again is an interesting balance. It's sort of a film of conundrums, is that the right word? I don't know. I can't think of the right word, but it's that, if you know what I'm trying to get at. And then, although I think it was executed well, and I think it worked well, but just in my personal taste, the sort of style, the direction, and how the film just looked generally just wasn't really for me. You know, at times it looked great at times, and it was quite breathtaking, but perhaps I don't know, maybe it just lacks a certain romanticism that I'm used to in the films, just a certain, you know, grandiose, a certain... I'm not really sure what I want. I don't know what I wanted from this film, and I'm not sure why it didn't fully connect to me like it had connected with other people, but yeah, I think it works. No, I think it's worth watching if this sounds interesting, what I've sort of mentioned. Maybe it won't stick with me as much as I expected it to, but just from a thematic level, and, you know, I guess sort of an emotional level, I'm happy with the film, and I thought it was pretty good, and I would recommend it. It's sort of sitting at a low 7 out of 10 in my head at the moment. And I thought, what was the name? Sorry, I was just been looking at this. I haven't got any imagery up. Felicity Jones was great in this as well. I haven't seen her in loads. I've seen her in Rogue One and Spider-Man, which are 2 films that I don't think are particularly good. But I did watch The Brutalist. I haven't watched that yet. Yeah, Felicity Jones was good in this, and Joel Edgerton was pretty good. I don't know. No, it's not Oscar winning or anything, but if Felicity Jones won a Best Actress, she wouldn't be my first choice, but I won't be upset about it. I thought she was good, although she wasn't in the film as much as I expected it to be. I should have got some imagery up. I apologise. I was too busy yapping. I'm going to speed it up again because I'm yapping too much. Again, I'll go into more detail on these films when I make the full video, but Train Dreams, probably, it's a low 7 if I'm going to be honest with myself. Let's put it there, I think. I did like Blackberry quite a bit, so I'll leave it there. And now moving on to the next one. This is an interesting film, The Secret Agent. The first film I've seen from Kleber Mendako Feliho. It was a good film though. I was pleasantly surprised. Definitely felt the runtime a little bit, I can't lie. Oh god, the whole cast of this film is great. Again, I'm just gonna sort of shoot through it. I loved the setting. It's 1970s Brazil, and it's sort of like I'm not sure if it was under authoritarian rule, I guess it was, or like a sort of military dictatorship thing going on. I can't really remember exactly the context, but yeah, Wagner Moore, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I love this actor. I think he's good. I think he has such fucking like screen presence, and he just looks fucking like a sick guy. So I can appreciate that. But yeah, it's sort of it's a grim look into this world, and it feels very authentic. It feels like the director, it came somewhat from personal experience, or maybe the story's passed down by his father or something. I don't know the details. I'm just sort of making this up in my head what happened. But yeah, it feels very authentic to the time. It has a sort of new Hollywood 70s style, which I think fits the setting really, really well. Again, it's 70s new Hollywood style. It feels like something from that era, and I think that really works. I love some stylistic, you know, paying homage to the past sort of stylings, whilst also not being reliant on it too much and standing on its own right. Yeah, lots of cool imagery, visually striking, lots of weird things I just didn't expect to happen. I'll say, if you know the leg, if you've seen the film, the leg plot line, it's like, fucking yeah, why not? And it's the way they sort of move the camera and it cuts. It's also almost like mid-era sort of Scorsese, sort of Goodfellas, that sort of energy that it brings, and it's quite electric, and I could really appreciate that. Same with like the transitions and the use of music, all sort of paying homage to classic 70s stuff in my mind. Not only music, but like cinema of the time. Jaws was mentioned quite a bit in the film. I think The Shining was shown being played in a cinema as well. So yeah, it does very much feel like a love letter to this time period, whilst sort of exposing the demons of this time and how rough it was on these people, and how fucking grim and almost horror movie-esque sort of things are happening. I loved the music. I thought the music was great. I love bossa nova, so I love all that sort of older Brazilian type music. I think that's really, really cool. But again, I'm blabbling too much. That's sort of my general thoughts. I guess my biggest complaints, my dog's barking. My biggest complaints probably surrounds the runtime. It did feel its length a bit in my mind. It sort of dragged a little bit. I liked the ending though, and I think it started really strongly as well. There's a certain middle dip before it starts to sort of get interesting again, and before it really gets a hook for me. But maybe a bit hard to follow at times when I was sort of drifting out of it in the earlier periods of the film. But I can appreciate this film. I think maybe I wasn't in the best mood watching it. I wasn't in a perfect mood for sort of a longer foreign film when I watched it, but I still enjoyed it. I'll probably put it above Train Dreams. It's very close between these two. I think I'll just edit The Secret Agent just above it, I think. But yeah, it was. I can appreciate it. I enjoyed the film, and I would like to come back to it one day and maybe get more out of it than I did. But it didn't fully click with me, even though I enjoyed the setting and the actors. All the cast were great, by the way. Some best cast, and if they have best cast in this film should win it. I didn't even know. Frankenstein is next. I didn't like Frankenstein very much. I'm gonna be real with you, dog. I love Del Toro. I'll say that. Although I'm generally quite mixed on his output. I think Pan's Labyrinth's one of the great films of all time. Probably. I love Pan's Labyrinth. Maybe you should stick to Spanish films. But Pinocchio I loved as well. Pinocchio was great. And then sort of I like Pacific Rim as well. Nightmare Alley I wasn't too crazy about. I guess I haven't watched loads of his films. I haven't watched Blade yet, and I haven't seen Hellboy since I was. Hey, where we lad? Yeah, I don't really see why this got an Academy Award nomination. It feels like very Netflixy. It has redeeming factors, but I just didn't really enjoy the experience too much. This is so unorganised, I apologise. Yeah, he was good. He was Jacob Elroyd, I believe. Yeah, Jacob Elroyd as Frankenstein. I thought he'd done a great job, to be fair. I feel like he was the standout in the film, even though I'm not crazy about the design. I was sort of being mugged by him the whole film, but I don't think it's going to be one I'm going to remember apart from that Jacob Elroyd performance, which was very much respectable. And then similar to The Secret Agent, probably it's worse in this sense. It just feels too long. It feels like it's trying to do too much, and then it just sort of it loses me. I guess I can sort of explain. It's not really a spoiler, but it's sort of split into different perspectives, and the final perspective, and I guess like the last third of the film or something, is from Frankenstein's perspective, and it's got less of us Oscar Isaac character. I like Oscar Isaac as an actor, but I thought his performance was just very like over dramatic and hammy, and I don't think he done a very good job, to be honest. I think all the actors in a similar sense just it felt a bit hammy what they were trying to pull off. But yeah, I guess to be fair, it looks really good, the film. It looks good and it looks Netflixy at the same time. Like you can tell the sets and all this practical stuff to set up is really cool. And then it's just I don't know if it's post-processing or something, or just I'm trying to do too much fucking weird shit, and it's just maybe it's just the style of Del Toro. But it looked good, and it also looks shit, and it's like, look at this, like obviously that set's fucking sick, but why does it look like that? Why does it look like a computer game? I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot to appreciate in this film. This guy's getting his legs sawed off. Again, lots of cool body horror as well, if you're into that. And there's periods of the film, like at the very start it looked like sort of that fucking Polar Express film by Robert Zemeckis from the 2000s or something like that. And it was like, oh my god, this is weird. This is like a bit disturbing. It's not exactly this scene, but it's a scene in the snow at the very, very start. I was like, I don't like how this looks. I don't like how this feels. Again, the sets were impressive. Obviously, all the costumes are great. And Maya Goth, I thought her performance was too hammy as well, like I mentioned. But you know, she has to look down very well in my mind. But I just sort of didn't like any of the characters, apart from maybe the Frankenstein character. I don't even remember what this was. It's behind the scenes. Oh, this is like a flashback thing. And yeah, I guess that's the sort of the themes of the film. Sort of Frankenstein makes a monster, and he had a bad childhood, and he sort of reflects the sins of his father onto his new creation. And that's Frankenstein, isn't it? Again, it was just, I guess the writing was quite bad as well. I've very mixed feelings about the writing. I guess in isolation, some of the melodramas were really, really fun and good, and like fucking hammer up if you. It just didn't really strike any chords with me particularly emotionally. It was just like, okay, this is happening. I don't really care about any of these characters. I want Frankenstein to be happy, honestly, but them sideburns are crazy, let's be honest, fucking hell. Yes, some of them dialogue moments, I think, maybe it was more the performance than the actual lines, but some of the lines were bad. It's like, he literally says to Frankenstein's brother, Victor Frankenstein's brother, I think that's him, yeah. He literally says to Frankenstein at one point, "You are the monster," and it's like, okay, you didn't need to say that outright. We can figure that out. Have some respect for the audience, but I've got mixed feelings, but I can appreciate it overall. I give it a 5. It's maybe a bit harsh to give it a 5, but yeah, it's I guess a high 5, low 6 sort of in my head. It's very harsh giving it a 5, but I wasn't crazy about it, and that's just my honest thoughts. And I love Del Toro, and I hope his next film does something that interest me more. I give Spinal Tap 2 a high rating now I'm thinking about it, but whatever. That feels very low, but fucking man. Wasn't for me, not for me. Marty Supreme, I fucking love Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme's heavy, Marty Supreme forever and ever. This is a great film. I give it an 8 out of 10. I love Marty Supreme. I'm gonna talk about this quite a decent bit in my next video, in my Oscar video that I'm making potentially. But yeah, Timothée Chalamet's performance in this was yeah, he's really trying for this sort of Oscars campaign. I don't think it's gonna work out for him. I think Leo probably deserves it, which I'll get into later. But his performance was great, and so was Gwyneth Paltrow. I know she sells like pussy candles and that, which is a bit weird, but she was great in this film. Every part of this film was just, I don't know, I just a big fan of it. You know, I guess it's technically like a sports drama and a biopic in a sense, but it's a real twist on that sports genre. Sports drama genre. Yeah, it's basically it's a not Safdie. I was gonna say Cohen then. It's a very much a Safdie film. I haven't watched his brother's film yet, but that interests me less. But yeah, it's sort of like a big stressful mess, like sort of, you know, good time and uncut gems where, but you can't look away, and it's so charismatic and enjoyable and energetic that I think everyone should go out and watch this. And it's sort of changed my perception of Timothée Chalamet as an actor. I keep saying actress. Timothée Chalamet as an actor, and I'm looking forward to what he does next. And you know, just for him, I hope he wins the Oscar, because he does deserve it. He was good in this film, even though maybe some other actors were also very good. It's be stiff competition, but yeah, just give the boy an Academy Award. I don't know. I love the setting, 1950s New York. You can't go wrong with that. Just can't get enough of that sort of stuff. It is mainly a character study around this Marty's character, which is why, goddamn, I want screenshots from the film. She was good as well. Odessa Azion. Who's this lady? Why is Kylie Jenner at the Marty Supreme premiere? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a character study. It's about him. It's about this Marty character. It was very dislikable, very hateable. He's very self-destructive, a narcissist, opportunist, sort of. You know, a lot of bad character traits, but he has a certain charm to him in my mind that makes maybe not likable, but like I want him to succeed for some odd reason. I don't know why. That's how my brain works. If to put me in his perspective, I want the naughty guy, the bad character to succeed, which is fucked up, but that's how my brain works, I think. It is hard to see him as redeemable, probably, especially by the end, but you know, I guess there's a bit of a good care inside to him, even though a lot of his actions do harm the people he cares about most. I haven't seen him yet, but Tyler the Creator was in this film. Look at this. Lots of funny scenes like this. Tyler the Creator was in this film, and he came on the screen and I was like, fuck, this is gonna be bad, but he put a good performance in, to be fair to him. So, yeah, all respect for that. Baddie Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, there he is. Tyler the Creator was good in this film, and I can respect that. It's the first time I've seen him in an acting role, I think, but yeah, he brought such a good energy to all the scenes, and yeah, look at his state of him. Anyone who can like sort of paint themselves in an ugly light on camera, I have respect for that, you know. Make themselves a bit of a fool playing the jester. But yeah, he was good in this film, and a lot of like Jewish themes around Jewish heritage and stuff. There's a dog called Moses which surrounds a lot of the destruction in the film. And he went to Egypt and took over the pyramid, and he went to his mum like, we built this or something like that. But yeah, again, I need to hurry up. So I love Marty Supreme, I'll talk about it more. But yeah, big fan overall. I'm very excited to see what both Timothée and Josh Safdie do next. Maybe the Safdie brothers can reunite and make another good film. But I mean, just for me, Josh Safdie on his own is just as good as Josh Safdie was brother. Other way around, maybe. That can't be said, but yeah, I hope Timothée takes more projects that are interesting like this, and I will give this film Marty Supreme forever and ever. Marty, Marty, Marty. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and it's going. I think that Poet Society should be above Charade. Oh, it's around here somewhere. Oh, is it above Nova Choice? No. Oh, I think it is. It's climbing. It's fair. That's what I'm putting it. I loved Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme forever and ever. I'm just messing with my order a little bit, and I apologise. Fuck man, I love Charade. Sentimental Value soured in my mind a little bit. I don't know why, because that film was excellent, but is it better than Dead Poets? Nah. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why. I'm changing my order around. I'm going a bit rogue. I'm going rogue. Okay, whatever. One battle after another. I mean, everything's already been said about this film. It's monumental. It's got to be one of PTA's best. I'm a bit mixed on PTA generally. I'm not mixed. I feel like PTA's one of the best living directors, but I didn't love his last film, Licorice Pizza, too much. It didn't connect a lot, and I didn't like The Master. I liked The Master. I enjoyed The Master fine. It didn't connect with me though. Boogie Nights, There'll Be Blood, Punch Drunk Love, all masterpieces in their own right. I love Magnolia as well. That's up there. So I guess I do. I'm not mixed on Paul Thomas. I just love Paul Thomas Anderson. Apart from these two, which I'm not hot. I give them a like though. So, that's something. Give me that. But yeah, am I talking? Yeah, I'm talking about one battle. Tries to be a lot of. I'm not going to get into. Everyone's talked about this. I'm rushing. I need to go to uni soon, so I need to sort of rush this out. Yeah, it's monumental. It tries to be a lot of things, and I think when a film does that, usually it sort of slips on its ass and embarrasses itself. But it works in every category it tries to be. It tries to be a thriller, works. Drama, it works. Comedy, it's a hilarious film. Revolution film. I mean, it's not Battle of Algiers, but they certainly show it. It's a commentary on modern times, and it's like, yeah, that works too. It's a good commentary. It's a reflection of the world we live in. I mean, everything's a reflection of the world we live in, but it's a reflection of the world we live in, and fuck yeah, why not? It does a good job of doing that, even if it's a bit doomer and pessimistic, But, maybe that's just the world we're living in. I don't know. I don't choose to see the world like that, but Paul Thomas Anderson might, and this maybe is a reflection of the world that is yet to come. I don't know why I speak like that. It was actually, of all the Oscar-nominated films, I think just about, maybe, it's the longest. Or it's certainly up there. I didn't feel that runtime at all. It flew past completely. Fuck yeah. It's amazing. It's a classic, honestly. You never just watch a film and it's like, okay, this is a classic. This will be remembered in 20 years' time or 30 years' time. This will go down as one of the movies. And again, I actually wouldn't say it's his best. I think, let me think. See, Tarantino is right about fucking... no, okay. I'm not gonna say it's up there. I'm not decided yet. I think There'll Be Blood's probably his best film, even though it's got near there. No, I'm just joking. I love Punch Drunk Love as well, though. So it's up there for me. I loved it a lot. I loved all the characters. I think Leo probably deserves the Oscar. I mean, it's when it's Leo, it's like you just expect him to be good, so it's not even like amazing anymore. But yeah, he was fucking excellent in this film. And great use of music, justified its length, dogs coming in the room, very well and interestingly shot is what I'm saying of a lot of films. But like when a film that's so big budget can be so like, maybe not experimental but ambitious and try new things, I guess it is experimental in that sense. That's a really cool thing. I'm not sure if it made its money back. I hope it did. Maybe just about. In my mind, this is best picture winner. Absolutely, very good variety. Again, shots. I just loved how it's all about these long static shots. And a lot of long shots just generally. Some of them are static, some of them were moving and more dynamic, and I feel like that really worked. Sometimes you have a lot of old films, it's slow and you have to sort of linger and sit in the mood, and you do longer shots of not much happening but building atmosphere. This film does that, but it's I'm gonna get IMDb up again. I should have prepared this. I apologize. It does them sort of long plodding shots, but it doesn't. Well, in them old films, sometimes it can just feel like, okay, I get what you're doing. It's dragging now, but this film's so well paced, it never drags at any point, and for a film that's like 2.5 hours, maybe pushing 3 hours, 240, I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's Sean Penn. Oh god, he'll be later, I'm sure. Sean Penn. Oh, his daughter was good. I don't think I've seen her in many things. Chase Infinity, he was good. She done a good role. I think she looked a bit too old for. I think she's meant to be like 16 or something, but she looks like she's in her 20s, but I might be wrong about that. There he is, I guess. Sean Penn, gave him an Oscar because his performance in this was fucking fantastic. There he is again. Look at that swag. This guy's got swag. I'm not saying it's like I'm not saying it's like an art house film or anything. It's very much a pop film, but in the best sense of the word, where it's like sort of challenging at the same time as being poppy, which is interesting. The Beatles were pop. They were innovative in a sense, and that's sort of a similar thing in my mind. Any more pictures? Leo's great. Leo's, even though he like shags 20-year-olds or something, he's one of the best actors alive. I think stop saying actresses. Appeals well to mainstream audiences, I think. Good film, well paced, enjoyable, pretty perfect in my mind. There's not much I would change or cut about it. So yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson's one of the greats living today, and I feel like that should be respected. And I will put his film. That's his name. Will I put it above High and Low? Well, I pulses above high and low. Oh no, it's not as high and low. It's really good though. It's really good. Really good. Hamnet. This film was fucking depressing and it made me sad, which is probably why I only gave it 3 stars. And the ending was hammy. But again, I'm going to rush through it because I'm going to uni soon. Very unsettling, uneasy atmosphere. Not the romance film I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be like a really boring, cringy romance film, but no, it was a tragedy. You know, in pure Shakespearean fashion, it was a tragedy. I think that just unsettling and uncomfortable atmosphere probably is what kept me from being a bit bored in the film, which maybe I was a little bit bored at points, but I was relatively intrigued to where it would go. I think it does peak maybe too early. It peaks about the mid points of the film, I guess, when the big, I don't want to spoil it, the big event happens. You can probably, if you know anything about the film, you'll know what it is, but that big thing happens. Really good performance by the kids. I don't know what his name is. Is this him, Joel? No. Who's he? I don't know. He's the favourite though. Jacob. Yeah, this kid was fucking great, by the way. Kid actors are usually, like, the other kid actors were fine, but this kid he done a really good performance. That was, I think he's got a good future ahead of him. Apparently he's in Peter Pan and Wendy, which I've not watched. But yeah, I was drifting off at certain points, especially after that peak I mentioned. It did fail to hold my attention completely, even though maybe it just didn't have a real hook after a certain period of the film. I guess the hook is how he writes Hamlet, but I guess I just don't really care. I actually never read Hamlet. I read Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet. It's very over-dramatic at points towards the end, and I guess maybe that fits the sort of Shakespearean fashion of the film. But it was a weird tone shift towards the end. I don't know. It did sort of work emotionally for me, but it's also, I don't know, maybe too much at the end, and it's like, okay, this is very melodrama, and I guess that's Shakespeare, so maybe that's fine. Paul Mescal's Shakespeare, I never bought it at all. I don't think. Oh, hello. Winner of 32nd Actor Awards. Oh, I'll get on to who I think won the Actor Awards, but never bought Paul Mescal as Shakespeare. I've seen this guy in Concert Square. I could go to Concert Square tonight and there'll be 16 of this guy. That is not Paul McCartney either. That is that's he's got a Gen Z haircut. What's going on? Yeah, that's not Shakespeare in my eyes. Again, the kids are pretty good. Especially this kid was really good. The other 2 kids were pretty decent, I suppose. Jessie Buckley, give her Best Actress, honestly. Even though I wasn't crazy about this film, I think she absolutely deserves the Best Actress nod, because everything she's been in as well, I think, has been excellent. I've only seen her in 3 of these, obviously, but she was good in Men. I think in Anything was a fucking monumental film, and I thought she was great in that. But yeah, give her Best Actress. She really sold everything for me. Even like the hammy parts towards the end, like, yeah, fucking good shit, man. I guess that's sort of a glimpse, but yeah, she was amazing in this film. I was that kid, and yeah, I'm still mixed on it though. Is that Steven Spielberg? Yeah, it is. Cause in Chloe Zhao. I've not seen much Chloe Zhao. I think I watched one of her Marvel films. She made the Eternals, so you know. I guess it does. The whole thing just feels a bit fanfiction-esque in my mind, and I just couldn't really get over that feeling, even though the performances and the execution was quite stellar, which is probably why it's been nominated for Best Picture, just because it looked great. I love the set. The set was anything I can get a glimpse into, sort of a time where you can't even conceptualize in your mind how different it was. I love that. I feel like, especially when the sets are so accurately made, yeah, it looked great in that sense. Yeah, I liked it. It's a high 6 for me. It's a high 6. I'd probably being a bit harsh giving it a 6, but it's just not something that really connects with me, and I didn't love the filming concepts, I guess, which maybe hurts it a bit. I've got too many tabs open. What have I done? Almost have closed it. The fuck's that? What's Hamnet? I don't even want to know. Again, I'm trying to speed through it now, but Hamnet can go. I'd put it just behind Begonia, I think. But you know, I've been harsh giving it a 6. I still like the film. I think if you like Shakespeare, it's probably worth watching. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, fuck it, why not? Yeah, it's a beautifully animated film. It's a classic. I don't even know why I watched this. I guess it was just short, and I wanted to just put something on. Yeah, Snow White and Seven. It looks amazing. Really weird though how the sort of motion captures rotoscope the Snow White character in this. I feel like everything looked really good apart from the rotoscoping, which was a bit aged and weird. It looked like a real actors being drawn over, which they had, but I don't know, that was a bit strange to me. As a musical, it's probably not amazing either. It's obviously there's the classic dwarf song, but apart from that, it's kind of whatever. But yeah, it's amazing animation, just a very charming, whimsical experience. And I guess it's Snow White, I'll just leave it at that. But I'll say a little bit more. It's old animation. You can't really beat it in my mind. Especially at this period of animation, it felt like there was so much potential being shown in the earliest days of animation, which it never really reached the peaks I think it could have, just because I guess the resource demands of making animation, and it's called the Golden Age for a reason. Sorry, I'm trying to let my dog out. Because there was no time like it in terms of animation. Although I will say Pinocchio improves on this film a lot. I love Pinocchio. I think that film's one of the best looking animated films of all time, probably. I mean, people say every frame a painting, but it really does feel like every frame is a painting, because I guess it is, in a sense. They worked their asses off to make this film back in the day. Feature length animation was not a big thing back during 1937. Bloody hell, that's an old film. Nearly 100 years old in 10 years. 91 years old? 89 years old? Whatever. The plot's quite nonsense and doesn't really matter, but that's not what's important. What's important is this is a very beautiful picture, and I can appreciate that a lot. Again, with the rotoscope, and I can respect the ambition and the sort of innovation in that field. But yeah, I guess it's probably a low 7. I feel like I like how the sort of story behind the making of these sort of things. I'm sort of fascinated with how they executed making something like this, more so than I'm actually amazed by the film. But you know what, I think put it pretty high. It's Snow White, man. It's above Holdovers. Fuck, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Final Tap winner. So yeah, beautiful film, lovely little film, beautiful film. Deserves its place in history as one of the forefront of animation as a medium. And yeah, F1 to finish it. I'll just zoom through this like a fucking race car. It's a solid summer blockbuster at the end of the day. Sort of building on that technology. It's Joseph Kosinski, so it's following Top Gun Maverick, sort of building on that technology. I guess by the head, I don't know what that is, but that was between them. But it builds on that and ultimately delivers a less impactful and captivating story for me. It's not really groundbreaking in the same way Maverick was. A lot of cliches, a lot of sports drama cliches, which again, Marty Supreme twist on that sort of idea, and then this film did less so. But I feel like it was a fun summer blockbuster at the end of the day, and it's very much an advertisement for the F1. It feels like it's Lewis Hamilton. He produced it, trying to get people into watching F1. It's just gonna be cars coming up now. Look at these dudes. It's not even a film. I don't really know why it was nominated for Best Picture, but I feel like people have been a bit too harsh on it. I feel like it's technologically it's quite a feat, but yeah, apart from that, it's a fine summer blockbuster. Watch it with your dad, you'll have a good time. Great. All the scenes with the cars driving are just genuinely amazing. It's just everything else like sort of brings it down. But like the sort of dedication to these, I hope it's practical effects, but wherever they're doing the dedication to getting the technology right so it looks real and good, very much appreciate that. The story was nothing. It was bland and expected, and I'm putting it there. But it was fun, and I would sort of recommend you watch it if you feel like it. Didn't really like Hans Zimmer's score was fine. The use of music I don't know, when you're trying to be very at points, I guess not romantic, but it just tries to be sentimental at points. And does that work when you've got, I don't know, like an R&B soundtrack and trying to be sleek and modern with all these quick cuts and training montages? I don't know, not for me personally, but I need to go to uni, so I'm going to leave it at that. It achieved making F1 look kind of cool though, and I kind of want to watch some F1 now. So yeah, I guess that's my list up to now. If you are interested, I'll zoom out slightly. That's where I'm at. Yeah, again, 2 really amazing films up here I watched, and then some more middling ones for me, but I had a good time this month watching the movies, and hopefully I'll see you back next month for the March one. If anyone else is watching this is more my own little log to keep a track of what I've watched. But yeah, 24 films up to now this year. watched Bone Temple twice, so 2025. But yeah, stay tuned for the Oscar video coming soon. Follow the letterbox if you fancy it. And I'll see you fellas. Next month. Ta-da.